Okay, good evening.
Started on my end.
Welcome to the public meeting dated Tuesday, November 2nd, 2021.
Right down out there.
The board just came out of non-public. Can I
Recording
get a
in
motion to
progress.
keep everything
So moved.
non-public to so moved? Roll call. Edvin?
Aye.
Matt?
Aye.
Charlie?
Aye.
I'm an aye. Katie, you on?
I don't see her.
Okay.
So who made the motion to seal the minutes?
Excuse me?
He made the motion, I seconded it.
To
Okay.
seal the minutes. Pledge of allegiance, please. I pledge
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Don't forget your microphone.
Okay, first item on the agenda is the Master Plan Steering Committee review capital improvement and implementation plans. And that's Ms. Collier, right?
Hi, everybody. I'm Annie Collier, Chair of our Master Plan Steering Subcommittee that's a part of the Planning Board. And we've been working over the last period of time for getting an update to the Master Plan, which hadn't been done since 2008 for the last one. The vision statement had been done in 2006. So we started with the vision statement and a survey, and also at the same time asked, and with your help, Board of Selectmen, got all the different departments and divisions and groups and whatever, all the different aspects of Newton to do write-ups on their individual areas and on their needs for the future, what their challenges and needs for the future. Out of that, we've been able to, the next step, so then, let me go back. So we got those things, and then we wrote a vision chapter, which is based on the survey, with a series of goals that came out of all the things that were identified in the vision survey. And with those goals, what we've done is to start to come up with some ideas for an implementation chapter, and also to start to look at some of the CIP. Bob Marchand has been looking into the old CIPs, and Larry has agreed to help us with updating what has and hasn't been done, what's still on your list, and to look at what is in the vision chapter that needs to be done. And then we can come up with an implementation chapter of all the different aspects of the different goals. We have, I think it was 5 different goals in the vision statement and so we've got those, like here's goal 1, and this was like 90% of respondents wanted to preserve and protect natural resources. So we've come up with kind of a draft of some ways to implement some of those goals that came forward from the residents. What we need is to, obviously, to finalize it, but in order to finalize it, what we'd really like to do is to get as much buy-in as possible from you folks, from all the departments, from as many residents as possible. So right now, we're here to basically discuss with you process and your recommendations for what's the best process to do. The planning board can do a CIP, or we could say, you know what, let's let the Board of Selectmen set up a CIP subcommittee or town committee, and some of us could be on it, but you bring in other people. Or we could spearhead it and we can just ask for your help. What do you recommend? How do you recommend getting the most buy-in possible?
Members of the board?
So I think when this all started, what was it, a year ago? Something like, or not that long ago, right?
Yeah.
Year and a half. So Annie helped us draft a letter. We as the board sent a letter out to all the town departments, and we said, we're totally behind this. Please, help them however they need it. Could we take the same approach and ask the planning board to kind of spearhead it? We could send the same sort of email. You can get back to us, and if for some reason you're not getting what you need, we can try to help you. I don't know if we want to take that approach again.
I know Larry has offered to help to update some of the information for input in that, and that's going to be really helpful, and I'm sure he'll be calling on different people to do that.
Bob Marchand, pleasure to be here. Hello, everybody. So the CIP, Capital Improvement Plan, right? Some of these things that are listed up here, the importance of the Capital Improvement Plan, which is the third part of the master plan for any town, is to basically, for anybody that is ignorant, and ignorant just means lack of knowledge, to what the Capital Improvement Plan is, that anybody at home that might be listening. It has to do with the town, its buildings, its fire department, its vehicles, and everything that pertains to the town of Newton. This isn't a wish list like I hear about people talk about. It's supposed to be put into 3 different categories. Basically, a high end, a medium, and a low end, and this is what we're looking for. This is why I stepped up. This is what we're looking for from these different departments, are things that are basically needed at a high end immediately, the middle ground, and then something that can be put off like 8 years, maybe 10 years down the road would be the low part, you know, and the medium would be about 5 years that could be put off. So basically what it is, it's to try to control the ebbs and flows of our tax rate in this town. It's to keep us proactive instead of reactive, like what's happening with the fire department and all their equipment, to where all of a sudden all of it just starts to crap the bed on us. And now the citizens of this town are looking at having to pay taxes to be able to get this equipment that we need in right now. We need the fire truck, we need an ambulance. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that type of stuff, right? So that's what this whole thing is about the capital improvement plan. And it's the planning board, according to the RSA. We have no jurisdiction over it, but what we're supposed to do is kind of gently nudge you guys to do what we're asking you to do, which is to go to the departments, put this up, and then we need to get to the town, and we need to get the message out to these people so that when you guys put it on the ballot, and like how you normally do, and you say, we strongly encourage a yes on this, but it would be good if we did some proactive stuff and not just doing that, waiting for the ballot. Because this town, as far as what I see, a lot of stuff that I've been looking into needs taken care of. One of the other important things that I looked up also happens to be the cemetery. It stated when this last was upgraded back in 2013 that they were running out of land for the cemetery. Now, this is a state law that each town must have a burial ground on its premises in its town. They're running out. We need to come up with land to get another cemetery in place. So before these things start to compound on top of one another, we need to, like I said, become proactive, start to isolate these things and get 1 or 2 things put on the, what's the word I'm looking for? When they put the warrant articles, so that we can start to knock them off one by one. And then what we need to do is we need to set up, like the police department, the fire department does, when they go through and they have to go through their equipment, right? They have to take care of it, and each year, look at it, adjust it, and we need to continually do this. So in that way there, we can take those important things, get them done, then move to the medium things, and then some of those less things, and allow them to progress up the ladder so that we can continue to be proactive and take care of this. If we sit idly by, we're shooting ourselves in the foot, and this town is gonna end up, I can't even use that language. And this is what I see and I hear all the time. And we look like a town of buffoons, quite frankly, right? And you all see it and know it and go through it when we have these meetings, where the people of the town show up because they don't know what's going on, and all they know is that all of a sudden they gotta come up with all this money. especially with everything that's going on in the world today and what's taking place and people not working or whatever. We can't thrust this type of stuff onto the residents of this town. And this is the importance of this. And we need everybody to get behind it.
Thank you. So, you know, Bob has kind of given a lot of the reason why a CIP and why we need it so that we can plan proactively. I know that you folks have been able to do some stuff that's needed, but there isn't kind of a written plan, a 5 to 10 year plan. And that's the goal here, is to have a 5 to 10 year plan that we can get buy-in from citizens, from the voters, so that they can vote to support it. One of the things that came up on the vision in the whole vision survey was the state of our roads. And, you know, can we have a warrant article to increase the road agent's budget so that he can do stuff? He gets about $80,000 a year from the state. It's not $350,000, but he gets about $80,000 a year from the state, and he uses that to do some improvements, like he's just finished doing a series on Heath Road. He did Thornell Road with 3 years worth of improvements. We're either going to, as Bob was saying, we're either going to turn it into a town with all gravel roads, or we got to take care of them. And we've got a plan, and we've got to kind of reinvest in them, just like we have now with the fire department and with the police department, because we were forced to. We're really being forced to deal with some other things, like you're doing with Town Hall, some of the things that needed to be done to just make it safe for employees and for residents to come into. The second floor of the library, right, had to be shored up this year because it wasn't safe to go in and to be there. I read in the old plan that the historic building was in need of some reinforcement. We need a list of all those things, and I'm not here advocating for spending money. I think you know me well enough to know I'm not really into spending money if we can avoid it, but we need to figure out how we're going to do these things. Is it things like Tricia was able to do with that wonderful grant she was able to get for COVID? You know, how much stuff could we cover with that grant money over the next few years? I don't know, because it has to be COVID related. The state of our roads and deferred maintenance is not COVID related. So unless we can come up with some way that it could be. But then not only when we come up with, we need the voters to be able to okay certain spending things when they are needs, when they need to understand the need. And we've started setting up some capital reserve accounts finally. After years of not having those, good job, and people are passing those. We need to continue to do that kind of stuff. And if we do it within a framework of a CIP, then we're going to be able to hopefully get more buy-in. So I'm here to ask you guys for your help in getting that buy-in and coming up with a CIP with that's capital improvement plan, as Bob was careful to say, so that everybody understands what we're talking about. CIP is one of those little acronyms that, you know, could get lost, but it's a capital improvement plan, and it's a 5 to 10 year plan. Things to be done immediately, out a few years, out to 8, 10 years, but to identify what they are, and then it should be periodically updated. So for planning. Then the implementation chapter is the next thing. It's kind of, as you can see, what is it? Who's going to do it? What is it they're going to do? How are we going to do it? How are we going to fund it? And when? So then again, it's taking things like the CIP, taking other things that are not necessarily tied to money, but are tied to work that needs to be done in the town. Like the zoning regulation review, you know, with proposed warrant articles. That's not a money-intensive thing. That's something that is up to the planning board to do. We need buy-in from conservation from some of them, from the road agent from some of them, from you folks, from conservation for a lot of them. And conservation's what, a group of 5 people? 7? How many people are on?
5 with 2 alternates, I believe.
Yeah, so 5 and some alternates. I mean, it could be a lot of work for 5 people, so we really need to figure out how these things can be done. So again, it's asking you for your advice on how, so that we can go back to our steering subcommittee and discuss it and then make recommendations to the planning board. I'm hearing you guys say that you just assume we did the CIP, and that you'll help us. Matt, that's what I understood you to say.
That's what I propose, is we come up with a letter together. I can help you with this if the board wants me to, and we put the letter out to all the departments, all the committees, and say, thanks for your help in the first step. We're on to this step now. We need your support once again. This is what's going to happen. Please give your support. So that's what I recommend.
I'm good with that.
Yeah, so Annie, I'd like to mention that we own approximately 4 to 5 acres on the New Boston Road out behind the Union Cemetery that's landlocked, that we could possibly use for more cemetery space. Just thought I'd let you know that.
So it's landlocked
Yep.
by
By the cemetery.
the cemetery.
Yeah.
So it could very easily
We
be.
don't own that cemetery. The church owns the cemetery. So what we'd have to do,
Which church owns it?
Scared right away.
Sorry?
I think she was off mute. I think.
oh, the one here on not Merrimack Road, Bear Hill Road, that church.
Oh, the
The
Kingston
white one.
Community Church?
No, not
campus
the
of
one
it?
down by
Oh, the white
Mollison's.
one's closed, ain't it?
They're closed, but they still own that.
Okay.
They own that
Oh, okay.
land.
Okay, so that would be something that, see, there would be something that and it isn't even on our plan, because it wasn't identified by the cemetery committee, but that would be something to communicate with, with them.
With
to
the
say,
church to give us an easement to go in there.
Right, yeah, so that would be something for the cemetery committee to come up.
I just thought I'd mention that
trustees of the
because I knew it was
cemeteries,
there.
Yeah, to come up with. So, I mean, that's a good one. It's a good solution and possibility.
All right, so we'll send out that letter. We'll try to put a time limit on it, like 2
Yeah,
weeks.
yeah.
Then hopefully have a separate meeting other than a regular meeting here with those department heads and their letters and
Okay,
start the ball rolling.
okay. Have you got any plans I know you're probably in the middle of doing budgets and stuff. Have you got any plans for capital improvements this year, or to put it before, or are we jumping the gun? For instance, the highway budget, to increase it? I don't
Yeah,
think
we're
it's
going
been-
over that tonight.
Yeah, we're going over that tonight.
I don't think, there's a gentleman here from that department. I don't think it was factored in what he's proposing, but
There's increases for more stuff.
for other stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
My understanding is that we have about 4,004, how many miles of roadway? 44 miles of roadway, and a road is designed to last about 20 years. Ours are about 40, 50, 60 years old, and, we're kind of gradually doing some, but it costs about $300,000 per mile?
Depends on the road, depends on the situation. It usually goes 550 to 700.
550 to 700,000 per mile. So we have 44 miles of roadway. So we got to come up with some sort of a plan to figure out something to be able to start to do some of these that need to be done. I'm not big on voting away money and stuff like that, but I don't know, I think we have some capital reserves. I think we have some substantial monies that are in the town. I don't know how much they are, and I don't know what would be available, and I don't know what you folks might come up with, but I'd encourage you. That was something that came up big on the vision statement for the town of Newton. So presumably, the 400-some people who did participate in the survey might be willing to vote in favor of something like that. I know we'd need a few more, but we'd have to campaign and be proactive about it. Okay, I appreciate your help with the letter. The implementation plan chapter is going to be the same kind of a thing that we're going to be asking your help with. So I assume that that's okay too?
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
And thank you for all your hard work. I know you and I started this whole process about a year or so ago, and I appreciate you kind of going above and beyond for all this, so.
Well, it's something that needed doing, so.
Yeah.
And thank you for your support.
Yes.
Thank
I
you.
second that. Thanks for all your hard work.
Thank you, Annie.
Was that a motion?
Thank you, Annie.
You seconded?
Yeah, she's
I
seconding that.
seconded all her hard work and thanking her.
All in favor?
Yeah.
What?
That's a joke.
Okay, we're gonna move on to C, the 2022 proposed budgets, number A, highway.
Good evening, Board. Mike Pavero, Road Agent. You want to do tree warden first, or are we doing highway first? Because tree warden takes about 30 seconds.
All right, let's do tree warden first.
Just going to level fund that. That budget is tiny, as you can see the number on that. That's just that we deal with a certain tree here and there in town that could be diseased or something that might be a dangerous situation. So there's not a lot of money in it. It's a $3,000 budget. We've level funded it for probably the past 7 or 8 years. We'll just keep that the same.
Motion to accept the tree budget.
Second.
Second by Charlie. Any discussion? Kate?
Aye.
Edvin?
Aye.
Matt?
So just to be clear, we're accepting it
It's a draft.
as
As
a
a draft,
draft.
yeah.
Yeah, and I'm an aye.
Matt, and I'm an aye. Okay.
Highway one's a little different, huh?
Little different story.
A little different.
What do you want to go, line by line, or you just want to go to the lines that are increased?
Lines that are increased,
That's
please.
what I would propose. So let's go to the first one, which was equipment rental summer. All the operational costs have gone up. Let me start by saying, I want to do a real quick summary on the highway budget. I took over as road agent in 2008. The budget then was $360,000. The proposed was $395 at that point. We've kept it about $345 for the past 10 or 11 years. This will be the first time that there's been a major increase. We've done a couple $1,000s here and there over the years, but this will be the first time there's a major increase, and you'll see why. I just wanted to lead into that before we go through the items. So the first one is the equipment rental summer. It's a $6,000 increase, which is about 10% of that line item. And that's an operational cost. I don't think I need to tell anybody, but I'll mention it. It applies to this whole budget. Costs have gone through the roof in the past year. And that goes, I think, in every trade, and probably every department. The next one is equipment rental winter. This one, I've held it as long as I possibly could. My problem last year and this year is I'm starting to have a hard time getting plow trucks. We've kept the same rates again for a long time, but I'm proposing that we bring our rates into line with the abutting towns. We're still lower than the abutting towns. Pickup trucks for Newton, and we'll just put it into two big categories. You don't have to break them all down. We were $56 an hour. Kingston, $75 an hour. And Plastow's $67 an hour. The bigger trucks, which are the more beneficial trucks, bigger trucks do more work, keep roads cleaner faster. Six-wheelers, we've been at $75 for quite a while. I'm going to say 7 or 8 years. Plastow's at $95 an hour, and Kingston's $105 an hour. So you can see, trying to compete, keeping guys plowing roads for Kingston, for Newton is very difficult if you've got abutting towns that are paying much more than we are. So I'm increasing those rates so that I can still get equipment to maintain the roads during the winter. The next line item that went up is paving. I appreciate Annie's pitch for the infrastructure in town, and she's correct. Mathematically, I can't even come close to keeping up with the road infrastructure in town based upon the town budget. My line item for paving annually is $45,000. You can probably do 3 big driveways for $45,000. So if I wasn't getting highway block grant money every year, to the tune of about $80,000, would pave very little every year based upon the town budget. So I want to increase that marginally, $10,000. It'll help. You know, I probably should go up a lot more than that, but I've never stood at this podium and jumped up and down asking for a lot of money. I'll do what I can with the funds I get. I've done that right along. The next line item that we went up on is salaries. This is a really painful one for me. Right now, we've got one highway employee. That's all we've had for right around a year now. Part-timer Mark, good guy. He had some family issues that come up and he had to relocate. At the rate that we're proposing to pay a highway guy in Newton, we don't have to waste a print in an advertisement. It's $14 an hour. You can go to the fast food places and make more money.
Starbucks is at 23
Right.
next year.
Right, and we all see it. I'm not
Oh,
standing
no,
at this
I want it to be
podium.
on record.
Yeah, I'm not standing at this podium whining about it. It's just reality. And I need a CDL driver. I mean, for years, before I became road agent, the phrase that we used here in town was the road crew. Now, I don't know what road crew means. I really don't. It's either highway department or public works. Those are the two phrases you use to maintain infrastructures. So I need another CDL driver like Ronnie so that he can run equipment and, more importantly, during the winter, drive a truck that can plow snow. You aren't getting a CDL driver to apply on a part-time basis with no benefits for less than $23 an hour. They're not coming. And I'm just pointing out the facts. So I've got to increase that line item with the hopes, and it's still hopes, that I can get somebody to apply to this position and have one full-timer, one part-timer to maintain 44 miles of road. So that's why that line item's gone up. The last one is sand salt.
That's going up.
Everybody, and I mean everybody, state, towns, across the board, has, and the state broke down the increase to the salt budget this year, which they broke down every district. I'm only worrying about our town. Last year I paid $48.15 a ton for salt. This year we're paying $67.50. It's a 40% increase. Wow. 1 year. One shot. And I'm not going to use, well, I mean there's a percentage variable depending on what we have for a winter, but I'm not going to use 40% less salt. I mean, it's just not happening. So I have to go up with that number just to be able to buy the materials to maintain the roads. And that's it. Everything else stayed the same. But it's an increase to my budget of 12%.
Mike, I just want to ask you one question. You say you're only getting you're paying $56 an hour for pickup trucks. What are you paying for fuel?
The fuel, we don't pay anything for fuel. They fuel their own trucks.
Right, but we give them so much.
Only if it goes over $4.09 at the 108 pump. It's never done that.
Yet.
Yeah.
It's going to
Thank
happen.
you. Yes. At the rate fuel is going up, because the country's been run so well, it may exceed that this winter. And there's an escalation clause in the highway policy for hired trucks.
Is the money there for it?
Is there money for it? No, there's no escalation money in a budget. You see my whole budget.
I know.
Yeah, there's no money in that
I'm just
escalation.
asking
It
you.
will have to come out of the winter operation. That line item that's winter equipment,
Yep.
it will have to come out of that
Okay,
budget.
that's all I want to know, Mike.
Listen, Charlie, you want to give me an escalation budget in that, I would be more than happy to take it.
No, I'm just asking, so I know.
And we updated that last year or the year before, something like that, right?
We
So,
update it every year, but it's mostly the workman's comp
yeah.
percentage that gets updated every year.
I mean, I think we're hearing a theme even, whatever, 6 weeks into looking at budgets, stuff is more expensive, including, materials and labor, so.
Well, the labor is a widespread short, there is none.
Well, that's what I'm saying, yeah.
I mean, the money is only one factor in trying to man these people. You can't get anybody to want to do the work.
Yeah, I mean, it's just as a board, you know, we're gonna have to sell this to the voters, because it's not just highway, it's all these budgets we're looking at, everything's going up. It's not gonna be pretty. But, I mean, it is where we are.
Can I get a motion to accept?
I'll make a move that we accept his proposed budget of $405,931.
As a draft.
Huh?
As a
A
draft.
draft,
Second.
as a draft.
Second by Edvin, any more discussion? Kate?
Aye.
Edvin?
Aye.
Matt?
Aye.
Charlie?
All right,
Aye.
Mike, I'm very positive tonight. Bravo for keeping it that low since 2008. I mean, I think I was in like sixth grade.
I appreciate the praise, but I'll be honest with you, I've done no justice to the town.
I-
I
but-
should have been increasing
year.
this right
Yeah.
away.
every single year.
Yeah.
Okay,
Like I said, I think I was in
But
sixth
will
grade,
tell
but
you,
still.
The Board of Selectmen
Yeah, I
for
like the
4 or
joke.
5 years
I thought the
wanted
joke
to
was good.
decrease the budget every year. So we've gone the wrong way.
No, I told you to increase your budget.
But I'm feeling positive tonight. Bravo.
Okay, financial administration, Nancy, you doing that? What?
Is it permissible to make a statement?
No, I'm only kidding.
Go ahead. Yeah.
I'd just like to suggest that the selectmen think about, with the idea that it can take 2 or 3 years sometimes to pass a warrant article, think about running a warrant article for highway funds, for road funds, maybe for something like 25,000 or something, just to at least start people thinking about it. So I'd like to suggest that maybe the selectmen put one forward.
I like it.
Kim, Nancy, you doing financial?
No, it's a bookkeeper memo.
Right.
Do you have the memo in there from
Yeah.
the...
We have the memo, yeah.
But just to kind of, not to leave Annie hanging is, that's food for thought, I think, is, food for thought, I think, is what you gave us, right? So, thank you.
Do you want me to read this real quick, the memo? Or do you just want to accept it? How this works?
Well, I think she was trying to answer our questions in advance, right?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Have all the info for you.
Yeah, so it looks like increased 5,025, and she gives the explanations why.
It didn't increase,
No.
it went down
It decreased,
5,025.
yeah. It decreased $5,025 to $104,881.
Correct, I'm sorry, decreased. So if no one has any more questions on it, we'll accept the motion on it to accept.
I move to accept the financial administration's budget of $104,881 as a draft.
Second.
Second.
Second by Kate, any more discussion? Kate?
Aye.
Edvin?
Aye.
Matt?
Aye.
Charlie?
Aye.
And I'm an aye. Okay, transfer station. Pete, you're here, right? Okay.
Pete Gagnon, Transfer Station Manager. So you can see on the budget, there's only really 3 big ones for increases, and they happen every year. Disposal, costs are always going up. We cannot avoid that. Hauling, again, always going up. And salaries is another one for this year as well. Other than that, there's really no big increases, some decreases. But I think next year, hauling, fuel cost, disposal, it's definitely going to be a lot worse than we've seen it.
And how much do we have left in that warrant article? I always forget the name of it. but,
The transfer station
It's
revolving.
the expendable trust fund.
Yeah.
I don't have the figures for year end yet,
Yeah,
so off the top of my head, I don't know. The treasurer,
yeah, right.
the trustees handle that.
So I have one question, might be a stupid one. Why did the recycling budget go down?
The cardboard, we were paying pretty good amount for it before. They've been paying us a really good amount for it.
Oh, cool.
So I decreased that. Really what we're paying for recycling is the commingled, free on items. Tires are a separate line
Yep,
item.
yep.
But, yeah.
So are we risking it by going that low? I mean, or are we guaranteed to get the cardboard?
Yeah, we're pretty good with the card. We're almost guaranteed. to
Okay,
keep
cool.
getting
Yeah, that's all I have.
pretty good money.
Anybody else?
Anyone have any more questions on transfer station?
Motion to accept the transportation proposed budget as a draft.
Second.
Second by Charlie. Any more discussion? Kate?
Aye.
Edvin?
Aye.
Matt?
Aye.
Charlie?
Aye.
And I'm an aye. Okay.
Thank you, board.
Thank you,
Thank
Pete.
you.
Moving on to D, Financial Administration ARPA update. Trish, are you on?
I am. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah. Do you have any update on the ARPA?
I really don't, and I don't have a great signal. I've been kicked on and off a few times now. The only thing I can tell you is I've been working on the filtration systems with various companies, and I'm going to throw this out there to you selectmen. Eventually, you know, we may want to have people come in and speak about what they can do for us for filter systems and also for the furnaces themselves. You know, the town hall and the historical museum may be able to have an adapter attached to it for COVID, but I'm still gathering all that information. I just want you to know that I am working on that. And the other thing is the U.S. Treasury has given us what they call a lost revenue calculator. And what we have to do, and right now I'm actually waiting to find out, are we allowed to use funds from grants that we've received or any kind of FEMA reimbursements? We have to go back to the last full fiscal year before COVID. So we went back to 2019. Kim gave me the figure that I needed for that. And then once we have the clarification whether or not we've got to take out grants and FEMA money, that's going to give me a base figure. And when I plug that into the U.S. Treasury Calculator, it's like an Excel spreadsheet. It actually does all the work for us, and it tells us, based on that, even though we may have, like every department I've talked to didn't really lose money, we really have a lost revenue. As an example, let's say we had the revenue figure according to their calculator is, let's say, $627,000 minus what they're giving us of $515. That means that we've got an additional $112 that can be used for something other than COVID-specific stuff. That $515,000 is COVID related, whether it's furnaces, filtration systems, stipends for first responders, including the transfer station in that. And so once we have that exact figure, like maybe by next meeting, I'll be able to tell you how much we could use for other things that's not COVID related, like if somebody needs laptops, or I'm hoping that the planning board printer will be covered under it, because we can justify we needed a printer that could take a Mylar, because during COVID, other places where we had to go make copies was closed. So I'm not sure that they'll cover that, but if not, it can probably be covered under this lost revenue calculator. So I don't have a lot to share right now. I'm on conference calls almost every day, but I will, you know, maybe for our next meeting, I can give you a little bit more information.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Because I think next week at the public hearing, we either need to vote to expend it all to be, you know, to be used, or we need to budget just this chunk of it.
I think
No, actually, they clarified that, and the Treasury Act said we actually have to accept and expend if we, at the full amount, even though we only have $257,000. That was very clear during one of our last meetings last week. A lot of towns did what we did. Uh-oh, did I just get kicked out?
No, you're here.
Still there?
Okay, so they said redo another public hearing, and I had already told Diane that, which is why she's got it for the correct amount, so that we can accept and expend, even though we're not gonna be spending it right now. We're gonna do public hearings whenever you guys wanna spend, and it will be taken out of that fund, and you'll just be specific to that.
Yeah, so right now it's in the savings account. We need to move it to the checking account, basically, is,
That's a bookkeeper thing. Kim and
Yeah.
Nancy can do that.
yeah, well, that's what I mean, yeah. Cool,
Yeah.
I'm good.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, next item on just E, town buildings, A, fire and police stations, water, testing results and quotes. Who's speaking on that? Who's speaking on that? The water issue.
Yes, I will. You asked me to get quotes, you asked me to engage a water treatment person to analyze the water at the safety complex, which I have done. And you have those quotes there for both the fire and the police station.
So do you have anything to add, chief, to it, or?
No, the only thing I have to throw in there was my members, myself, a town resident has stood up at this podium since 2018 and said something about the water, and now we're doing something. And I never knew there was an issue with the police station, because I thought I was just like the internet. I was on an island by myself, being criticized, and my members were being criticized. There were a bunch of little babies, because there's nothing wrong. So I'm not gonna do nothing with the water, because it's a town building, and that's on you. And as I said at the last meeting, I'm no longer gonna stand at this podium and say anything about the station, because we've heard enough criticism every time we open our mouth about the station since we moved in, just like the internet. And until it becomes a problem with other departments, it's only the fire department. So,
First of all, who called you a bunch of babies?
listen to me. You know when I know.
Oh, it
when
didn't come on this side.
You know when I know when it came to the internet, guys had no idea how to operate computers. There was nothing wrong.
Can we talk about
So it's the whole thing.
the well?
Yeah.
I've been in front of you for the water. Ziggy's been in front of you, Captain Zelinski. Chet Pierce has been in front of you for the water, and other people have been in front of you with the water. So that's on you guys. That's on you guys. My half is the same thing. The water hasn't changed. You have brand new fire trucks. The trucks are getting ruined. Anything that has the water is getting ruined.
That's what these quotes are for,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
But if you're gonna do that, you might as well get quotes to replace your water bubblers that the project manager said was gonna get damaged. If you're gonna do it, let's go out and fix everything that the water damaged.
so I think it's one step at a time, right? So when last we discussed this, we sent Diane on the mission to get some quotes.
Just to get, all you asked me to do was engage a water treatment to
For
sign
testing?
up what,
Yeah,
what was happening,
Yep,
what the cause was.
yep. And I think the testing shows, I'm no H2O engineer, if there is such a thing, but it shows that we have a problem like a lot of wells in the state have.
The system is undersized
Yeah.
for what they use it for.
And you guys are talking about an odor as well, right? So it's not just the pressure, there's a smell coming
So
from
this
the
is
well.
gonna take care of the pressure, the odor, and the water spotting on the equipment, correct?
The right, but I think what we're asking is, your concerns are the odor, the pressure, and the, what do they call it, the rust, the yellowing. We get it in my well as well, like the iron content, yeah.
There's arsenic in there too.
Right, it wasn't only that, as my letter stated, it was the damage to the appliances, the toilets, the
Yeah,
sinks,
that's
everything
part of
else.
that, yeah,
That's what I'm trying to say is,
yeah.
we're going down the same path, with all due respect, that we had a conversation in 2018. We're going right back to the same thing. The only difference today is now the police station, our brothers in blue are included in this.
Do we know what their issues are?
For what?
At the police department?
It's the same water.
So it's the same well, it just goes like that,
It's right.
right?
The water comes
one
out,
to the
it
other.
splits.
So the idea, and the chief brings up this point, if we're, you know, we're gonna have the same problem, whether they bring it up or not, it's gonna be an issue, so.
Diane, I see two different quotes here. Is that?
One is for the police.
Oh, okay, so it's two out.
You have to have, think they're two separate, it's one well,
Yep,
two
no,
separate.
I get it. I got you.
Okay.
It's a lot of money.
So now this has to go out to bids?
Yeah. I
Yeah,
would say so.
given the amount,
Given the
given the
amount.
amount, we're in our
Okay.
bid policy.
Okay.
And they get the bottom line, it's a yearly suggestion on maintenance is 500 plus another 14, about another 2,000 a year. Every 2 to 3 years, whatever, yeah. So it's 500 for 3 years and then 1,200, 1,400 for that third year, so.
So I think Diane has provided us with a proposed sealed bid here, right?
A sealed bid?
No,
Or
an
the
estimate.
request, the RFP.
Oh,
Right.
sorry.
Yeah.
I don't know about water and what it should be, so I just kind of grabbed what I thought, so I don't know if it's accurate.
Well, the more info we have, the better. So I would move that we post, as is our normal procedure, the request for sealed bids as written for the well at the safety complex.
Second by Edvin, any discussion? Kate?
Aye.
Charlie?
Aye.
Matt?
Aye.
Evan?
Aye.
I'm an aye. All right, so we'll post it, put it out for bids. Okay, fire station building sign quote, requisition 2384. You want to speak on that?
Don't be scared, chief.
Same thing from 2018. Got to put a building sign up. The contractors every year, I'm asked to get quotes. Then I don't want to do it anymore. This is the last quote you're going to see from the contractors. That's the last quote you're going to see from me. I've been doing it since 2018. I'm not doing it anymore. I'm done wasting my time, and I'm done wasting contractors' time. It's your
You're not-
building. You decide what you want to do.
Now,
This is-
chief, you're having a problem getting mail, aren't you? It's being delivered to other properties.
It was only $7,000 worth of equipment. It's okay.
Oh, no big deal then.
And this,
We ended up getting it back all wet because it stood out in the rain.
this,
And we get the people coming for the police department, and the police department, I would recommend you put a sign also on the police station, but that's
Yeah.
for Chief Jewett. Because the idea that individuals know the red building with the fire trucks is the fire station, I hate to tell you, people think that's the public safety complex. We get people for the police department all the time, and he gets people for the fire station all the time.
and
And
you
we
want,
get more for PD than he does.
you want this to come out of the 2021 warrant article number 4?
Because that's what was voted on.
Which is,
Warrant article is that?
well, there's a note down here, funds to come from the town buildings capital reserve funds, which the warrant article number 4, we move the money into that fund, so it's, right.
Thank you.
So do we know the total on that?
Total of what?
The
What's the remaining
town
balance?
buildings capital reserve?
I did ask Joe, and he gave me an estimate last week of $100,111 and $234. 111,234.
Okay,
Six
is the
digits.
total right now, because I know we've been using it quite a bit.
Yep.
Yep.
And that's the article that, for the sale of the old station, right?
Yeah, so Article 4, we moved, I forget the number, somebody probably remembers the number.
300.
300,000.
We took 300 and moved it so we could use it in that account.
And there's
which is what-
111 left.
Right.
Okay.
Motion to sign requisition number 2384 for the fire department signage, total amount of $4,740.
Second.
Second by Charlie. Any more discussion? Kate?
Aye.
Edvin?
Aye.
Matt?
Aye.
Charlie?
Aye.
I'm an aye. Okay. 2022, back to the proposed budgets, fire department.
Is the chief here?
Chief here?
Just one quick thing. Before you get to that, I believe there was something about
Encumbering funds.
incumbent, the 15,000.
After your budget, sir.
Yeah.
Well, if the board doesn't move that 15,000 to save, my budget has to go up 15,000
Okay, hold
for
on.
grant match.
Okay.
So, if
I can
it's
explain
okay with the board members,
Actually, it's before those budgets, Larry.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was.
The encumbrance is before those budgets.
Yeah, it's F.
Thank you, Nancy.
I don't see here on the schedule. Is it on the schedule?
Yeah, look
F.
under F.
Let it have.
Letter F.
F for
Oh,
fire.
F, okay. So let's speak about that first. We'll speak about F.
Okay, just quick. We put for 2021, 15,000 for grant match. Okay, the grants are not coming out. Forgive me, they're gonna start probably after Thanksgiving. They will not be awarded till next year. Okay? The fire department's going for 2 grants. As you know, we've been awarded 2 so far. 85 for a thermal camera and whatever it was for the forestry. The town of Newton is working with 5 other towns to get a complete new radio system, all new mobiles and all new portables. That's 1 grant. I need 15,000 as a grant match for that one. After our last meeting, we're gonna do a Hail Mary and go for a $375,000 ambulance. I need a grant match for that one. I was hoping, since in 2021, the 15,000 is still sitting in the budget, was not used, that the board can move that.
You want to carry it over to 2022?
The 2022. If you're unable to do that, then I need to increase my grant match line to $30,000 or drop out of the ambulance grant. And this face will tell you, I have no problem dropping out of the ambulance grant.
So I think the only issue, at least for me, would be that we follow the requirements to encumber, which requires,
Requisition or an invoice.
so in other words, that 15,000 has to match some sort of requisition invoice or whatever, and then we can vote to encumber at that
That
point.
cannot happen because it's for a grant.
And that's
So
what
if I
my
can't
fear
encumber
is. Yeah.
that 15 to a
Yeah.
grant, it goes back to the town coffer. I need to add 15,000 to my 2020 budget.
Just add it to the budget.
Then you have to change that line to 30,000.
Oh, the 22.
2022, thank you, Nancy. I didn't plan on doing it because I thought, well, we're applying for a grant in 2021. You can move it over.
Yeah, and we've kind of tried this before with other departments over the years. It's just it's tough to do with a grant because of the unknown.
And like I said, we're going for 2.
Yeah.
2 of them, the same time period. It's 2 different things.
So I have a question. So that 15,000 won't be used for this year, correct?
Wait,
It goes back into your general fund.
It's still in his budget. So could it be used for something else, like say, maybe a water softener?
Well,
It's up to the board.
I can tell you this before you plan on doing that, with all due respect. Payroll for this past month, I haven't seen that in a long time. I wouldn't move, I don't know when you're planning on doing that, but I'd wait to make sure that the fire department doesn't go into the red.
And typically, we have that encumbrance meeting like December 20-something, so all that stuff is in
If
focus.
We're coming
Yeah.
close for salaries.
Yeah.
We're crossing our fingers, hope we don't have any calls from now till the end of December, or we're not gonna make it.
So did you want to wait, Matt, until December?
Well, I think Diane's suggestion there, he might need that money in his budget.
no, I'd leave it in his budget.
Yeah, and then in December, and it might not just be the fire chief, in December, we have to look at, If
Right.
we have to put the word out, everybody, do you see yourself encumbering something? We need the paperwork, and we need it on December 20-something, whatever.
At the rate of the call volume and mechanical breakdowns, yeah, I'd be saving it. Just saying.
You could buy that fire truck you wanted to buy for $12,000.
Yeah. Could we buy that?
That's, you can do what you want. I can put you in touch with a salesperson.
All right, so
Can I mention that now, Larry?
that's totally up to you.
Well, you were gonna say something, so.
No. I was gonna ask him what line item.
What we have is, we have an opportunity to purchase our old fire truck back for $12,000. Now, we've been borrowing East Kingston. We borrowed it 3 times. And the last time we borrowed it, correct me if I'm wrong, chief, that we had a brake problem on it.
I wouldn't be saying that public, but yeah.
Well, so if we have to keep borrowing this truck, it's East Kingston's reserve truck. Do we want to fix East Kingston's truck, or do we want to take the $12,000 that we already paid $11,000 to fix, pay him the $12,000, so technically it's only costing us $1,000 to have that truck, and put it in the Butler building and use that as our spare truck?
How does it come out to only costing you $1,000? You're gonna have to pay them $12,000, correct?
Right, but we paid out $11,000
To
in
fix it.
repairs. So technically, it would- if you,
So it's
technically,
gonna
it
be
would only be
21?
$1,000. But you're paying $12,000 for the truck.
Right, so the truck will end up costing you more than $1,000. It'll cost you
It's gonna cost you, it's
$13,000.
gonna cost you $13,000
No, it
total,
won't cost you 13, it'll cost you,
12 and 1. We,
well, and,
So I wouldn't mind revisiting that in like the middle of December.
$3K.
Or
Okay.
Do you need an answer?
I was just throwing it out there.
With all due respect, I don't want no, that's on that side of the fence.
You don't wanna deal with it.
I don't want to deal with it. You don't have till December. That truck might be leaving
Well, that's
the end
okay.
of this week. Once it leaves, you might have the option if they don't sell it. I mean, if you were definite that you wanted to keep it, they would go meet with the selectmen,
Yep.
not the fire chief. They would meet with the selectmen to discuss it. If you want to set up a meeting, I'll make sure they don't take it, and you can go set up a non-public meeting to discuss it with a sales rep. I don't want nothing to do with it.
Is that a truck that we traded in because
it
it
is.
was old and it
Yeah, but
cost
we
a lot
fixed
of
it,
money?
we fixed it first. We
I
spent
know.
$11,000 on the truck.
But it's still got that.
What are you gonna
age.
do, Nancy, if he has to, well, his trucks keep breaking down? If he turns around and borrows East Kingston and blows the brakes on the ones in East Kingston, we're gonna be spending $6,000
I get it.
to fix East Kingston's
But
truck.
if this one
But I'd
dies,
ra-
we gotta pay for that
That
too?
we've already done that. We fixed
On that
everything.
one item, I'm just saying, there's other things that could go wrong.
Well, the turbo and the brakes is pretty much it.
You've replaced the turbo and the entire brake system on
Yep.
that truck. Again, that's a fight for the Board of Selectmen.
Chief,
I don't say a fight, that's a discussion for the Board of Selectmen.
Right,
Just
so-
let me know
Oh, yeah, I got it.
before they take the truck.
Okay.
So the other 15,000 is going into the grant match line item, correct?
Correct.
That's gonna be-
422-0057.
That's gonna be 30,000.
And I did that without my glasses.
So we need to add 15,000 more to the end of your budget.
Yep.
It'll be
And the big-
$417,550.
the biggest increases you can see is salaries. Some individuals, we won't mention who's standing here, hasn't received a step increase, pay increase since probably 2018. The majority of the members haven't seen a pay increase since 2019. That's in there. And as the road agent said, you cannot find a CDL driver for $14. The fire department's trying to find a CDL driver for $12.70. We start somebody walking off the street at $11.70. We are the lowest. And mind you, we're putting people into burning buildings and having them do stuff that they shouldn't be doing for $11.70.
So Larry, is that grant match 30 instead of 15?
So right, 30. So instead, so should be 417,550 for the total 2022.
The majority of the increases, if you notice, we've taken stuff out of vehicle repairs, because we have new trucks, and we're hoping that we don't have to borrow a truck anymore, or that the ambulance don't break down.
That answered my question, the vehicle repair budget. Like, I'm worried that's not enough.
Unfortunately, Kate, I don't have no one has a crystal ball.
Okay.
I cannot tell you. I could tell you since 2017, we have the tanker, knock on wood, the tanker, other than routine maintenance, is running solid. The ones that are our problem childs are the ambulance and our engine 1. Our ambulance, we run almost every single day. Lately, we've been running it almost 5 times a day. The Crown Vic is the next one. The forestry falls off of that. And then you have our engine 1 that you're gonna get a bill that the board knows about that bill. For that one, that keeps on breaking down. So the town's gonna end up, by the time we're done, we're gonna rely on that brand new truck and that tanker to do the work of the other 4 vehicles. So I can stand here today and tell you, we're gonna be visiting you some more. You're gonna have to make a decision, a hard decision sooner or later, because your forestry's not gonna last, your Crown Vic's not gonna last, and that fire engine's not gonna last running it the way we're running ragged on that fire department. I'm just telling you, it's realization.
I'll get to you. Okay, Annie, you got something?
When you say that you're running the ambulance 5 times a day,
Yes, ma'am.
is that COVID-related?
No.
Oh.
It could be.
If it's COVID-related, I was going to suggest that possibly some amount of that grant money could be used for some of these needs.
We are working on that.
Yeah, okay, good.
Yeah, we're working with Director Foote, I guess is what his title is, and Deputy Director McCarthy. We're working on every avenue possible so it does not touch the taxpayers. Unfortunately, there's some stuff that is going to touch the taxpayers, and for those that have heard me stand up here since 2014, 2015, I'm a broken record. That's why you take trucks out of service when you do, and you don't try to run them. Charlie's idea, I could tell you, the truck's gonna be a reserve piece, other than regular oil changes and maintenance. It's not gonna go have any other service if the board decides to keep it. I could tell you, every time we do bring somebody else's truck in here, and yesterday was a very scary moment, we'll leave it at that, because I thought the mechanic was still there, that was the good thing. I'd rather pay to fix a vehicle that belongs to the taxpayers in Newton than a vehicle that belongs to somebody else.
Yeah.
All right, any more questions on this budget?
No.
Can I get a motion to accept the draft?
Motion to accept
Matt, you
the,
have something?
Well, no, I was just gonna say that, I think I always say this for the big budgets, like the fire department, police department, highway is, just so everybody knows, we're accepting this as draft. This is gonna have to be worked throughout the next few months, but just so it's clear with everybody.
motion to
Evan,
accept the fire department budget as written as a draft.
Second?
Second by Matt, any more discussion? Kate?
Aye.
Edvin?
Aye.
Matt?
Aye.
Charlie?
I'm an aye, but you didn't say the amount.
417,550.
Okay.
Forestry.
And Charlie?
Aye.
And I'm an aye, okay. Forest fire budget.
We've increased it, I believe, by $500. We've been taking, same thing. Vehicle needs some new hoses, some new stuff, and I really don't want to take it out of the fire department budget. As it is now, all maintenance for that vehicle comes out of the fire department budget.
I'll make a motion to approve as a draft the forest fire budget of $4,750.
Second?
Second by Edvin, any more discussion? Kate?
Aye.
Charlie?
Aye.
Matt?
Aye.
Edvin?
Aye.
I'm an aye. Okay, town assessor.
So we don't have the budget quite ready on that one yet, but the assessor turned in her contract this morning. So if you
Wait.
know the board hasn't read it yet, this year she's looking to put in another $15,000 for the update, the data collection. We didn't do it last year because we did the reval and that was being done through the reval. So I don't know, maybe you guys might want to just review the contract, and if you have questions, we can have Andrea come into the next meeting.
I think that sounds like a good idea.
Okay.
Okay.
H, facility maintenance job description. Now, did you send this to Kate, Evan?
Yes.
Okay.
Kate, did you get my email?
Sorry, I was muted. Yes, I got it. It was
All right.
just fairly recent.
Yeah, I sent it tonight. So basically, and I talked about this when I ran for office. I think it's time this town gets a general facilities / maintenance person. You know, the chief can attest to it, and as well could the police chief can. You know, we're paying people to replace a toilet. We're paying people to patch walls. We're paying people to cut lawns. And it's something that we can do with a town employee. So, you know, basically this person, if we were to do it, we're not going to vote on this tonight. This is just you know,
Throwing it out there.
throwing it out there to the public and seeing what people think. This person would go to the beach, clean the trash out, go to Greenie Park, clean the trash, help with possibly the barge. Is it the barge?
The raft.
The raft that we have at Town Beach that we had an issue of this year to get it out there. So this person would just be a general facility / maintenance person, leaf collection, and the biggest one, snow removal. So this person would remove the snow at Town Hall, at the library, at the fire station. Again, it'd be a full-time job for somebody in this town. And I did break down the costs. So hypothetically, if we were paying them $18.05 an hour, that'd be about $45,000 in payroll, and with retirement and everything, it'd be about $67,000 a year. And on the high end, if we're paying $24.95 an hour, it'd be a payroll of $63,000, with $84,000 being the total with health, dental, and all that stuff. And this average I compiled with different communities around the state who have this type of position. Again, they're paying between $18 and $25 an hour, and as well as private companies are also paying this amount. And then, of course, you have the equipment costs, which will cost the town some money, but it'll be one-time fees. For example, I went to local lawnmower shops. So a brand new lawnmower, we're looking at anywhere from $2,500 to $5,500 on kind of the lower end, but something that we can afford as a town. We'd of course have to buy a trailer. We'd have to buy a pickup truck for this position. And again, my thing is I think it's time we have someone who does this instead of paying someone a lot of money to do, again, toilet repairs, lawn cutting, painting, snow removal. So yeah, that's all I got. So I don't know if this will be something we're going to place in a warrant article, or if this is something we can do as a board.
Are you basing your full-time at 40 hours?
Yes, this is based on 40 hours, yeah.
So the top numbers where it says subtotal, if we went with somebody with 32 hours, the yearly cost would be 45 and 63?
32, well, the 45 would be less.
It would be less? Okay, that's based on 40 hours?
Yeah, that's based on 40 hours, yes. And this is, Kim helped me with this, so yes, it should be based on 40, because that's what I said. But I mean, on the low end, again, like Mike said, Starbucks is going to be paying $22 an hour in 2022. So, you know, this position will probably be closer to the middle of 20 to 23. But yeah, we're still looking at, we'll call it 65 to 90,000 grand total with health, dental, and all that for 40 hours a week.
Did you run the numbers on the savings for all these jobs that he's going to be doing?
I mean, you know, you look at
Biggest one would be the lawn care.
Yeah, lawn care, we know what our contract is, and the lawn care company does a great job. I mean, I can definitely compile a list of how much it costs us to replace the toilets at, you know, the police station, do different small functions that we're paying thousands of dollars for, where we can just hire someone to do it.
You know, I think for me, that's kind of where I am, because what I think the vision is we have a retiring custodian, so you're taking what he did, you're taking the landscaping, you're taking snow removal costs. We didn't have many, but you know, what we did have, and you're taking what you're talking about is the general repair. What's the cost savings? Because this is a good start, because you outline the hard costs to start, and I just disagree with one thing. You you said, because they're not necessarily one-time costs. They're one-time costs for the near future,
Yes.
but things deteriorate.
Yes, and maintenance and, so I was hoping to do a lease when it comes to the lawn equipment, but the companies around us don't do leases. So I did go to the the two local ones we have, and they don't do the lease, so maybe that's something we can find. They do maintenance packages where, you know, they'll fix it up, things like that. But no, I definitely see what you're saying.
Yeah, I just wanted to see the kind of apples against the oranges type thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, most of the stuff on here lasts us 10 years or better.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but we have to keep an eye on the future, but yeah, it's not like it's 1 year and we have to replace it.
Yeah, yeah.
So, question, where are you storing the equipment?
I mean, we do
Butler
have,
building.
Butler Building.
Where are you gonna put Mary Jo's storage? Where are you gonna put the 4 Humvees?
Well, we get rid of
Where
the
you gonna
Humvees,
put-
nobody uses them.
I'm just asking, you've got
Well,
that place
and
chock full.
What?
Diane, to be fair, what you're
Excuse me?
describing, while he walks up here, what you're describing, to be fair, is it's not a hard cost, it's a soft cost, right? Because storage, we're getting rid of something, maybe it's something we don't need, but we need all of this, just like fuel costs, management costs, like who's gonna manage this person, because it'll be an additional task, because this person, or at least part of this person's role, doesn't exist yet. So that's kind of all we need to make sure we have the complete picture.
The only thing I have there, Mr. Chairman, with all due respect, the fire department does use that red Hummer. So, we do use the Hummer. Okay, and he's not here, but I can tell you, the road agent uses his Hummer, and the police department's Hummer was out the other day. There might be one Hummer in there that's not being used, but
Well,
again,
I'm sure we could steal one bay.
well, I'm sure you can steal 2 bays
Well,
Yeah,
whatever.
me
if you
too.
clean up the junk.
Yeah.
I'm sure you can store 2 bays, but the bays, well, if you do what you proposed the last time for the clerk, it's gonna be a heated building anyway, so your building's gonna be fine to store equipment in there because it's gonna be heated. You're gonna have lighting.
Well, we didn't go there yet, as far as that problem.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, we need prices on that too.
Oh,
Well, right, that's what I'm saying, we didn't go there yet.
Right.
I thought you went there.
No, we discussed it, but we didn't determine where we're going.
So, can anybody else hear that clicking noise?
Excuse me?
Something's clicking.
Charlie, I think, is clicking his pen.
Can I
Stop
hear
it.
your microphone? Thank you.
All right, so Evan, where do you want to go with this? You brought it to us, you want to have another meeting?
I mean, I'd like to, the next meeting, I can compile what we're
What we're
paying.
paying now?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
To what we could be saying. Again, this is a bigger picture thing. This could be a year, this could be a longer time, but I definitely want to get it out to the public.
No, I
and
think it's worth
kinda-
it, absolutely.
So,
So, we'll just continue it to the next meeting. Diane, just throw this back on the agenda for the 16th.
Yeah, this is a step in the direction, and in the past, it's been brought up without this level of detail, so it's a good step in that direction.
Okay, we're gonna open a seal RFP for IT service. We only got one.
That's it. And
What?
2 companies did reach out. One came on site, did a tour, but never heard back from them. Another one called me. I answered all the questions, and they never followed up.
We only have one.
That is correct.
And who's that?
Diane, a minute.
Of course. All right, so we just need a motion to take
Paramount.
that, yeah.
What do you want to do with it?
We just,
I can't see it, so.
So I would suggest,
take it as a bid, right? You need the total amount.
no, what I would suggest is that, let me scan it in, I'll send it to you, let you guys review it,
But
and
we're
then
just opening it.
then at the next meeting, you can decide if that's what you want to do.
You can put it back on the 16th, yeah?
Yeah.
Now, the deadline's done, correct, with those other 2
Correct,
companies?
that's it. So I mean, we have coverage, so we're okay.
It
60,000.
doesn't give last year, does it? And can you put last year's on, what the contract
Sorry, what?
is now, so we can compare it?
Cost of this last year's so they can compare the price.
Okay, yeah, she'll do that. So we'll compare the two.
Okay. This is all their propaganda.
Okay, J is letter of resignation, Police Sergeant Scott LaValle.
You can just accept his letter of resignation with thanks.
Motion to accept Sergeant LaValle's letter of resignation with a lot of thanks from the Board of Selectmen. I know Scott's went above and beyond for this town, and his services are definitely going to be missed to the town of Newton.
Second.
That's my motion.
Any discussion? Besides, we'd like to thank Mr. LaValle and wish him good luck in his
Endeavors.
new job and endeavors. We don't have to take a roll call on, do we, to accept it?
We usually do, just to
Kate?
accept.
Aye, and thank you.
Charlie?
Aye, and thank you.
Evan?
Aye.
Matt?
Aye, and thanks.
And I, and thank you very much, Sergeant.
Timber yield tax.
Okay, is timber yield tax, tax map 10-7-7, 10-7-6, and tax map 5-4-18-2.
So the two timber tax for Maple Avenue are done. Because we didn't get the reports in on time. I had the state working with the logger on this. So these are finally done for 2020. So we send out these bills and we'll get paid, hopefully. And then the third one is a property that did some cutting this year, and that one's a much higher amount of money that the town will receive. So these go to Mary Jo once the board signs. You've got 2 pages on each one that you have to sign, and Mary Jo will send out the bills tomorrow.
So you need a motion to sign each one.
Motion to sign the timber tax in the amount of $42 for 15 Maple Avenue.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Second by Charlie. Any discussion? Kate?
Aye,
Matt?
Aye.
Evan?
Aye.
Charlie?
Aye.
I'm an aye.
Motion to sign the timber tax for 21 Maple Avenue in the amount of $275.60.
Second.
Second by Charlie. Any discussion? Charlie?
Aye.
Kate?
aye,
Matt?
Aye.
Evan?
Aye.
I'm an aye.
Motion to sign the timber tax for 45 Highland Street in the amount of $2,308.92.
Second.
Second by Charlie. Any more discussion? Kate?
aye,
Matt?
Aye.
Evan?
Aye.
Charlie?
Aye.
And I'm an aye. Was that the last one?
Yep.
A manifest.
Under other business, we have, I sent an email out that I got late today, a request to use the town beach tomorrow to launch canoes for Phillips Academy out of Andover. They have 2 vehicles and a trailer,
With 6 canoes.
canoes.
Yep. They want to go onto the lake. I have no problem
With
with that.
6 canoes?
Yeah.
They can't use the ramp because they can't park there. They're not residents.
I don't have an issue.
So
we
if
have
they
to give
park
them
at
It's not prime
Yeah,
time.
okay.
So,
I just have a question for, like, is the lake committee, you know how the invasives was an issue and people are checking all boats that go in? Do we know that they're gonna be checked for anything like that?
Wouldn't think that'd be an issue now, would it, with the cold?
I would hope it wouldn't be, but I think we know people we
naive.
can, I mean,
they're
it's
doing it
tomorrow.
tomorrow, so, they're doing it tomorrow, Kate, so there's no way for me to get that.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's a nice thought, but
Oh,
hopefully
here's
we're
the, here it is from Phillips Academy, okay.
Yeah.
All right, so the board has no issue with that? You need a motion on it?
Yeah.
Just the board's approval will be fine.
All right, so the board does approve the Phillips Academy using the town beach on 11/3 at around 2:30 to about 4:45.
I had another one for other business.
Oh, we're not, are we on other business? Oh, I have one too, but go ahead.
I'm good. So just by way of update for the public, so going back a little while now, the school district approached the town of Newton about the concept of having a school resource officer at the school here in Newton. Their proposal was that the school district would pay, or would use this officer 80% of his time and pay 80% out of the district's budget. They're also apparently getting some money from the Seacoast Learning Collaborative, which is there. So then what we would do is for the other 20% of his time, he would be an officer that would work for us in the summer and vacations from school and stuff like that. So we went through a process with the school. They proposed an agreement. We proposed an agreement. It went to town council. It also recently went to Primex. So what we do have, the board got the draft agreement on October 13th. As of yesterday, we heard back from town council. His main concern was with Primex's suggestion for insurance language, which we've now met his concern. So I sent that version, which was just a tweak to the insurance clause, to the board this afternoon. So the next step, I believe, is we should I would move to sign the agreement and send it over to Sanborn to see what their response is. So far, their early response is that they're in agreement with what we have. A couple of key things to note is in the agreement, this is a mutual agreement. So if we decide this is not working for the town, then we're out. We just vote as a board to get out of the agreement. and
What
we
happens
get
to
out
the
of it.
patrolman?
And the patrolman, we're gonna have to be up front. This will be a new hire, so the new hire is gonna have to understand that this is all based upon funding. It's funding related, so.
But Matt, what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to add that 86,000 to the police department's budget.
Right, well,
Which
so for
means
this,
the taxpayers are gonna pay more money, and the money that comes back isn't gonna go to offset that. The money comes back is gonna go to the general fund. I'm against this.
right, well, if there's a warrant article to create an account for that, then we would be able to recoup that
But we're
on
doing
more
it now.
one-for-one basis.
But Matt, we're doing it now. We'd be doing it now. We'd be entering into the agreement now.
For the last,
So we'd have to put the money into the budgets to pay for it.
right, but then with a warrant article, the money they give us would then be moved to backfill that budget,
If the voters passed it.
if the voters
If
pass
they
it.
don't pass it, we're eating it. He's up, I come up with 116,000, to be honest with you, not 86.
Yeah.
The numbers I got today, because, and you got to supply a cruiser as well. This is not good for us. Well, technically, I figured it out. Kingston's gonna pay 40%, the school system's gonna pay 40%. The Seacoast School is gonna pay 40%, and Newton's paying 20%. Now, out of the school system, we're paying 18%. So technically, Newton would be paying 38%. And Kingston's only gonna be paying 22. This
Right.
is not a good deal for us.
So these numbers you just got, were they different than the ones we've been kicking around for the
Yeah,
last 2 months?
I just threw numbers together.
Well, they made it sound like we were only paying 20%.
Right, and we're not. We're paying a lot more.
Right,
Plus,
but,
we gotta supply it with a cruiser.
right, but we already have the cruiser. We'd be parking the cruiser.
But
We're not buying a new cruiser.
I didn't
to-
say that we're buying
yeah.
a new cruiser. I was just saying we're
Just-
supplying a cruiser.
Right, that's gonna be
But
parked in
also,
front of the school.
I went to a call over to the school, the chief can tell you, and there was there was the chief's car, there was a fire truck, there was an ambulance, and there was the forestry truck. Plus, there was 3 police officers. No matter what, these teachers should be trained enough to handle them until our police department gets there. Because no matter what, our police department's gonna have to back that up.
Yeah, I think,
Not a good idea.
I think the key concept to understand with a school resource officer, and we wouldn't be the first community ever to get one, they're quite common in many communities, is, you know, there's a nightmare scenario, obviously, that I don't even want to mention, that could happen with a police officer on site. And I don't think I have to tell you what that police officer could do, not a security guard, a police officer on site. Additionally, there's that sort of early introduction drug education that happens and things like that. So, I mean, this is a public safety thing for me. And just to note, so the public understands, we had numbers about 3 months ago now, maybe 2 months ago. The school's original numbers, we gave that to our bookkeeper. The bookkeeper went through all the numbers. So we feel as though, well, some of us do, we feel as though we have a clear picture of not only the hourly wage costs, but additionally the pension that we're gonna have to, you know, the medical and dental and all that stuff. I'm not sure, I haven't seen Charlie's numbers, but, you know, do you have numbers you can
I
share
don't
with us?
have them with me. I did not bring it with me because I didn't think we were gonna be doing it tonight.
Okay,
To
yeah.
be honest with you.
So Matt, my only question, everything else looks great.
Yeah.
Why isn't it the chief signing at the bottom?
It's not the chief signing at the bottom.
Chief can't
You have an
enter into
old version.
contracts.
The chief should be signing it.
Well, so town council says that and I agree with this, the chief, you just said it, the chief cannot enter into a contract. The chief needs to be the supervisor, but us as the Board of Selectmen would sign it.
So by us signing it, then we're in charge of the officer and not the chief.
No, if you read in there, it says that the chief is the supervisor of the officer.
Okay. All right, yeah, that's,
Yeah, it all came up.
yeah, we just got it, what, 3 hours? Okay, cool.
Well, that was in the one
Yeah.
from a few weeks ago. So, I mean, we'll see how this goes.
Yeah, if you can get your numbers for the next meeting.
I will move to sign the agreement as written and as reviewed by town council to move the process forward.
Second.
Second for discussion. So I want to wait for Charlie's numbers before I vote yeah. I mean, if you want to accept his agreement, I'll go along with that, but not sign the SRO yet until I see what his numbers are.
Well, this is just to send it to the school and make sure they don't have an issue with the agreement?
Well, I was gonna,
Well, that, you could do that too, if you want to send that back to
Obviously.
the school, that's fine.
that's the easier one, and maybe we'll see how this vote goes, but my thing was, I'm pretty confident with these numbers. I'm not saying that, you know, Charlie doesn't have any numbers he can't help us with, but I'm confident with this right now, that's why I make the motion, but if this motion fails, let's send it to the school and see what they say. But so far, the school's okay with what we have.
All right, roll call, Kate? Oh, go ahead, I'm sorry. Hold on, Kate, sorry. Oh. Yeah, Kate?
Did I miss something? Aye.
She said aye.
Edvin?
Aye.
Matt?
Aye?
Charlie?
No.
No. But motion passes 3-2. All right. Oh, other businesses, are we gonna do a captive share for, no spending over 500 unless it's an
Yeah.
emergency?
What's the date, like immediately?
Yeah, because I know we were supposed to do it last meeting, and we didn't. And this is the time we always do it, right?
We only have the 2 months left, so
Yeah.
What?
we only have 2 months left to the end
Right.
of the year.
Do we normally do 500?
Is it normally
That's
500?
what we've done in the past.
Unless it's an emergency within, that's gonna hurt operations, whatever, then you can do it.
So I would move that we begin a spending freeze as of tomorrow, which is November 3rd, capped at $500. If a department head has an emergency, they need to get approval of the chair to go beyond that.
And if you have any invoices that are dated before today, we'll still honor those.
So you have
That's
tonight.
coming.
Second.
Well, I mean, if you have something coming in next week that was over $500, as long as it's ordered or invoiced before today.
If anybody's open tonight, like a 24-hour store or whatever.
Second by Charlie, any more discussion? Kate?
Aye.
Edvin?
Aye.
Matt?
Aye.
Charlie?
Aye.
I'm an aye. Okay.
Let me do the manifest.
Manifest?
Signed manifest
think?
dated November 2nd.
Other business, Ziggy, did you have something? Yeah, if it's other
Oh,
business.
okay, go ahead,
Sorry,
sure.
Ziggy.
Bob Zelinski, I'm a captain on the Newton Fire Department. Some people might not realize this, but we have a Station 2 that we've been using for 40, 50 years. I think the church charges us $1 a year. Well, we never do any maintenance there. Finally, all the lights on the front of the building have died, or just because of the size of the trucks, the vibrations have broken the wirings and the hard boxes that the lights hang off. We had an electrician look at it, $905 to replace them. He disconnected everything because he says whoever did it must have been done 40 years ago. They're just wire nuts on it, no utility boxes, just connected right into a wire coming out of an outlet. So I'd like to see if we could have the lights working. They guide us when you're backing up at night. The fluorescent lights in the building I'm not talking about, but they're just 50-year-old fluorescent lights. So these red lights more or less are a marker. You look in the side view mirrors on the trucks to gauge you getting in the door.
Oh, it is a safety issue, backing in the truck.
Yeah. And there's $750,000 worth of trucks that are sitting there. You know, we have taken out the petition in the middle, myself, you know, just because
Do
you
you have a
couldn't see.
requisition for that, or
Yes.
a quote?
Yes, we have.
Did we see that already?
It was passed on, but I'm being
Who'd you give
told
it
we
to?
don't own the building.
Who'd you give it to?
It was fire department passed
He
it on.
gave it to me and said Charlie was going to contact the church. We cannot do anything. We do not own the building yet. Not yet, but we don't own the building. Charlie kind of forgot about it. I don't see how we can be doing anything to that building without talking
So
to the
can we-
owners.
So what we do is we make a motion that we approve the $905 to do the
As long as
repairs
the church goes along with it.
after we get written permission from the church.
Okay, yes, chief.
But somebody has to contact the church.
Evening. This is Captain Zelinski's baby. So the only thing I want to throw out there is if you're going to do the lights, you might as well fix the fire alarm that keeps on going off. Okay? I know the captain brought that up months ago. I don't have nothing in my budget. All I do is store apparatus there, and the association stores stuff there, but the fire alarm has been burning up in there for months at a time. So you might want to have the same electrician look at that, but that's,
I think in the past, since I've been on the board, and Bob will remember, like, we did stuff with the generator and stuff because we were not really a tenant, but we are a tenant, right? And we make use of this stuff. So I think the concept is good, that we should,
I mean, $900.
yeah, we should do it, but yeah, we have to have something in writing from the landlord, so to speak.
Charlie, make that motion.
I did.
Okay.
I
Can
made
get
a
second
motion.
on it?
Second?
His motion was to pay the invoice as long as we have permission that Captain Zelinski will get from the
Written
owner
permission.
in writing, not verbal, that we can go in there and repair the lighting, wiring, whatever, for that
What do you
quote
mean,
is.
whatever? Are you talking the fire things too?
The what?
Let's stick
Fire-
with the lighting right
Whatever
now.
Just the
quote
lighting,
Nancy
okay.
has, whatever invoice she has,
So it's just the exterior lighting?
for the 900 and the 900 and whatever dollars it is.
Right.
All right, so Evan second. Kate?
Aye.
Matt?
Aye.
Edvin?
Aye.
Charlie?
Aye.
Aye. Please make sure you get that in writing from them
I
now.
will, and thank you.
Oh, no, thank you.
Thank you, Zig.
Thank you for your service.
Okay,
All right, manifest.
manifest. Signed manifest dated November 2nd, 2021 in the amount of $819,740.84, of which $749,313 goes towards the November Sanborn Regional School District payment.
Second?
Second by Edvin. Any discussion? Charlie?
Aye.
Kate?
Aye.
Matt?
Aye.
Edvin?
Aye.
I'm an aye.
Signed cable vendor manifest dated November 2nd, 2021, in the amount of $5,975.04.
Second.
Second by Edvin. Any discussion? Kate?
Aye.
Matt?
Aye.
Edvin?
Aye.
Charlie?
Aye.
I'm an aye.
Signed payroll manifest for period October 10th to the 23rd, 2021, with a paid date of October 28th, 2021.
Second.
Second by Edvin. Any discussion? Charlie?
Aye.
Kate?
Aye.
Matt?
Aye.
Edvin?
Aye.
I'm an aye.
Sign appointment to the Conservation Commission for Laureen Melvin for a 3-year term to expire April 30th, 2024, and it is not a relative of mine.
I was gonna say.
Second.
Second by Edvin. Any
That I
discussion?
know of.
Charlie?
Aye.
Matt?
Aye.
Edvin?
Aye.
Kate?
Aye.
I'm an aye.
Sign veterans tax credit for tax map 17-2-18-2, beginning tax year 2022.
Second.
Second by Edvin. Any discussion? Matt?
Aye.
Charlie?
Aye.
Edvin?
Aye.
Kate?
Aye.
And I'm an aye.
Sign thank you letters to Charles Melvin Jr., David Bouchard, and James Ryan for donation of services with the installation of the signs at the fire station.
Second.
Second by Edvin. Any discussion?
And it is a relative.
Oh, and they do
Who,
have
Jim
signs.
Ryan?
Yeah, Jim Ryan.
Yeah, Jim Ryan.
So they have
He put
signage that
'em up.
says fire
Yeah,
department.
they did, and we're just thanking them.
There's
Kate?
3 of
I
us.
didn't know if that was his
Oh,
relative.
yeah.
Kate? Okay, Edvin?
Aye.
Matt?
Aye.
Charlie?
Aye.
Aye. Okay.
Oh, I have one thing I'd like to put
Did
on.
appointment, did
This
veterans
is-
tax, thank you letters. Excuse me?
Time out.
I have one thing for other business.
Yeah.
I'd like to address the Board of Selectmen and the townspeople to clarify Selectman Melvin's statement that was read on October 19th, Selectmen's meeting regarding the October 5th minutes prepared by me, Nancy Wrigley, where he said, Selectman Melvin does not have a town laptop, so in the minutes it reflects, I believe that Selectman Melvin personally responded back to concerned citizen. That is a complete lie. TA wrote the minutes, she knows. I am responding saying I did not write the minutes. I typed this portion of the minutes verbatim as what was said. I put no opinion into this whatsoever. Also, when Selectman Melvin told me that what to write in the response back to concerned citizen, I asked him if that should be a board decision. He immediately said, you dropped this in my lap, and if you don't want to do it, don't ever come to me again for help.
And that's correct.
In closing, I want all of this to be entered in the minutes tonight, and I especially want to say that I don't lie, and I take offense to Selectmen's comments.
Well, you turned around and said, in the minutes were transcribed by who? You.
No, I
Who did the minutes?
took it verbatim off the tape. You watch the tape, and you look at the minutes, and they read exactly the same.
There's no way that I turned around and contacted them people. Diane knows that I gave my computer up.
I'm
Correct,
just
Diane?
saying, you're blaming me. I did not say it, Charlie.
Well, you put that in the minutes, and
took what was-
I didn't contact them people. You said, I believe, in the minutes, you said, I believe.
I didn't say that. Matt said that.
Well, whoever said it, you said,
Keep
I
down, keep
believe.
down.
We have order, Mr. Chairman.
Yep, I believe
You
that
don't
Charles
call me a
Melvin did
liar.
that, and I didn't do it.
Well, it's still going in the minutes.
Good.
I did not lie, and I resent that.
Well, I feel you did.
I think, basically Nancy just wants her statement in the minutes, right?
It's my
Like,
reputation.
You're not necessarily debating it, you just want
No.
to put
We
it in.
didn't do her
Correct.
contract, right?
Nope.
My reputation, and I'll be darned if it's going to be slandered on something I didn't do.
Is there any other business? Put all those signatures in there, please. Okay, meeting adjourned.
No, it's not.
Wait, oh,
What do
wait,
you got?
Wait.
Come on, read your,
Jeez.
read.
Oh, we got the minutes.
while he's reading that, November 11th
Thank
is
you.
Veterans Day.
Oh, 10
So
minutes.
at 10:30, the chief has graciously given us his house for the day. Not your house, but the firehouse. And, yeah, sure. And Diane and the Rec Commission, they sent out an invitation, so if you are a veteran or you just want to support veterans, 10:30 is the time to be there at the fire department. So,
So can I get a motion to,
Wait, 1 second. On another note, just to follow up on his,
So-
okay, the cable committee is accepting photos of your veterans. If you could send them to
Yeah.
the cable@newtonnh.net, and we will include them in our video. Okay, now you can do the minutes. There's another one.
You opened up the floor with Captain Zelinski. Good evening, just want to let
Anything for Ziggy.
you said that. I just want to let the board know, November 13th. Right? Yeah, November 13th. We'll be doing a live burn on North Main Street with Plastow, Kingston, East Kingston, Amesbury, and Merrimack. Mr. Fitzgerald has donated the property, and he is taking care of everything for the instructor and for the rehab unit. So, other than salaries, that's it. He's taking care of everything else. Okay, so on the 13th, if you drive by, you know what's going on. Okay, there will be signs out there.
can I get a motion to accept the non-public public meetings dated October 18th, 2021?
I would move to accept the minutes from those dates.
Second?
Second.
Second by Edvin. Kate?
Aye.
Edvin?
Aye.
Matt?
Aye.
Charlie?
Abstain,
Abstain.
So
Okay.
why are you abstaining?
because
So
I
can
feel
put in
like
the
it.
minutes?
Because I feel like it.
Because what?
Because I feel like it.
Okay.
Okay, meeting adjourned,
Motion to adjourn.
8:55.